Hello, amazing people. It is Louise here, of course, business coach and creator of Live What You Love Business Coaching. And I'm really excited to be on here today. It is our second live webinar for the year where I get the opportunity to introduce you all to an amazing friend of mine, an inspiration in business, and talk all things systems. So very shortly, we will be joined by Meecham herself from ProjectBox, where we are going to talk all about a little bit around her story in business. She lives on the Gold Coast. She's got a beautiful daughter who recently went to school this year. And of course, why your business is being challenged to move forward and struggling to scale, and it's potentially because of the systems that are lacking in the business and how to change some of that. Now, we also have the opportunity for you to ask live questions to Pip, so don't hold back. Make sure you drop your comments below so that she can respond either in real time or she'll be able to, of course, answer these at a later date if you've not been able to log into the live event. So hopefully we are going to be able to have Pip join us soon. Just waiting for the little notification to pop up. Excellent, I've got Pip is watching. Let me add Pip. Good morning or good afternoon from the land of New Zealand. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm trying to get my little earbuddy things to work and they're not. They're having a meltdown. So we're just going to put those down.
I love
Can you hear
technology.
me okay?
I can. Can you?
Yeah, I know, right?
I've gone away from the headphones today as well, and I don't have any feedback, so I'm not listening to myself like I was the last time. So who knows what happened?
Cool.
Mercury wasn't.
Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Awesome.
Excellent. Well, Pip, just before you jumped on, I gave a really short intro about how excited I was to have you join me today. And for anyone who kind of has missed it, that is starting to jump on, Pip, you are, of course, the creator and the founder of ProjectBox, which is all things systems. And I can't wait to discover more about that. You are a fellow Kiwi. And of course, live on the Gold Coast with your beautiful daughter, Lucy, who has recently gone to school.
Yeah.
How's she going?
It's been a very rough first term, but I think we've finally nailed the whole school thing. So fingers crossed.
And I see she's eating curry.
Oh my God, you have no idea. I was in so much shock last night because she's like a nugget, rice, and frozen pea girl every night without fail. Will not eat anything else. And now she's eating curry. Of all things.
I know,
curry.
From nuggets to curry. Oh, I love it. So Pip, what I guess may as well get started. What I guess I would love for us first and foremost to hear about is a little bit about you and how ProjectBox kind of came about. I obviously knew you back when you first kind of launched a business, and it was really focused at trades, and it's taken off in a different direction. And I'd love to hear a bit more about the evolution of that and more about now what you're doing as a coach, in the business space.
Cool. So I guess if we go right back to the start, I have always been in admin or operations, always been on the front line, and have been lumped into so many jobs where I've just been given a day's training and that's it. So no real handover, no processes. I've pretty much been just left to figure things out for myself and try and take on as much as I can in those first 8 hours. From there, like you are correct, I did start business coaching, just doing general coaching with tradies around 18 months ago now. And it was during that I realized that I am especially good. I'm really good at business in general, but I'm especially good at the system stuff. It's what gets me most passionate. It's what I just understand really well, and I can teach it to anybody as well. It's also the type of thing where a lot of people think they know how to do it, but they really don't. So it kind of just evolved over time. And once people realized what it was I was doing, I was getting more and more questions from other business owners, mainly in service-based businesses, so not so much retail, because my background has always been in service-based businesses. And eventually I just realized that there was a market for what I was doing, and no real position title or job description against it. It was something I was kind of just going with the flow. There are people who do similar to what I do, but I couldn't really find anyone who was doing it like I wanted to do it. So I thought, well, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Why not? And before
Yeah.
I ask more about that, because I'm intrigued to hear more about you know, your genius zone, as we call it. You
Yeah.
have recently been awarded an amazing award on the
Yeah.
Gold Coast from the Gold Coast Business Awards, and I've written it down here. So, highly commended Service Excellence Award. So, firstly,
Yes.
congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And can you share with us a little bit about what that amazing award is about?
Yeah, so service excellence is all about really how I look after and ensure that my clients are consistently getting a very high level of service. So for me, as soon as I saw that award category, I was like, I've got to go for it. Like, this is what I do. You know, this is what I preach. So it was a really no-brainer for me to go after that one. And everything, you know, it was an easy award to enter because I have everything documented and stuff already. So being able to provide proof of what I'm doing was a very easy part of getting that. But it was such an amazing, amazing thing. Thank you, Layla.
It truly is. Like, it was so exciting, firstly, to see you all dolled up, because we don't do that very often.
No, people came up to me going, we just don't even recognize you. I'm not a hair and makeup person. So
no, you looked gorgeous. And secondly, because, you know, I've known you a lot along this journey, and to see you get recognized for your hard work and something you're so passionate about, it was truly, truly amazing. So congratulations again.
thank you so much.
Now,
it's so cool.
Sorry, what was that?
Sorry. I was going to say, it's amazing to be doing something that it's not work to me. And I know, like, we all dream of having these jobs that we're so passionate about that it's not work. And it feels quite cheesy to say it, but what I do is not work.
Yeah.
I do. I legitimately love it. And I think that comes across now in everything that I'm doing, which is why I've sort of gone from, you know, being someone's employee and doing it for them to then going out on my own. And I did some virtual assistant stuff for a while, and then, you know, the trades, and now doing what I'm doing now. I'm still working with all these different groups of people, but I'm doing it in my way, in a way that I'm passionate about doing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's
been
such a great journey.
Yeah.
Challenges, but absolutely amazing. Now, Pip, I want to go back to what you were just talking about before in terms of how ProjectBox was kind of created. You know, you mentioned that predominantly service-based. Most people think they know what they're doing, and it turns out they don't. So for anyone who's watching this, and I'll probably learn some stuff here myself, from anyone who's watching this thinking, right, I think I know what I'm doing, what, I guess, is the light bulbs that could be going off for needing some assistance in their systems? Or how do you identify your perfect customer or your perfect client?
Yeah, so I guess if we go back to what you said before about how everyone thinks they know what they're doing, it's a case of when people start their own businesses, they are doing what it is that they're good at. So I'm good at systems, an electrician is good at doing electrician stuff, plumber's good at doing plumbing, you know, but we are not necessarily good and a jack or Jill of all trades at everything in business. So coming in and looking at those businesses, I can see where they work really well, but then they might be falling over in their administration or the client onboarding or these other parts of their business where up until a certain point, they're getting by and everything's okay. And then things start to happen. So generally speaking, it's when customer complaints start coming in, you find yourself working long, ridiculous hours. Employees are complaining if you've got employees, so they're not performing as well as they should. Mistakes are happening in the business, whether people recognize it or not. Generally speaking, mistakes will start to happen, and over time they build and they build and they build and they grow until eventually things start going majorly wrong. that's normally about the time when people start looking at things going, okay, well, something's got to happen. We've got to do something here. The other reason is people just don't want to be working as many hours as what they're doing. We all have this big dream that when we go into business, it's going to be this nice, easy ride, and we're not going to be working as much, and no one's going to be on our backs, but it's as far from the truth as you can possibly get. As every business owner works their absolute backside off. And we have to, because it's our dreams that we're growing. So something, people come to me now for is they want to be more efficient. They want to know how to save time. They want to know how to condense all of this stuff down to make their business perform better, so they don't have to spend so many times working in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And have you kind of found a trend in terms of how many clients people are working with, or how many employees have got? Is there a trend, or is it just no?
No, there's no consistency to it at all. Some people are obviously, everyone comes from a different background, and some people are a little bit better at other things than other people. They can manage more, they can take on more, they can do just a lot of different stuff. I've had sole traders come to me who need my help. I've had businesses with 20 staff come to me who need my help, and everything in between as well. And people from throughout Australia and New Zealand as well, who are they just want help. They just want to find a better way of doing what it is that they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think we all do, right? I think that no matter where you're at in business, you can always go, right, what's not working here, and how do I change this? And how do I systemize it more? Because we're either trading time or money, and then you get it all kind of balanced, and then your business goes to the next level and happy days, and then it's like, oh, I've hit that same kink. Now where do we need to go? Or how is my employee onboarding or performance management or whatever kind of happening? It always kind of it will continue to hit along the way, I guess.
Yeah, it does. And the problem is with this stuff, like systemizing as a whole, it takes time. And I always say to people, you have to be prepared to, work a little bit harder right now and a little bit longer. But long term, it's going to save you a lot more time moving forward. So there was, just as an example, an electrician in New Zealand, actually, and I helped him with what he was doing. And I said to him at the start, this isn't going to happen straight away. You're going to feel like you are taking a step back, because the thing is, when you rewrite your processes and you redesign them, you're learning to do the things that you do in a whole new way. So there is a learning curve and a learning process that happens with that, whether it's, just checklists that you're having to work through, or it's learning new technology. These things take time. But then at the end of it, he's only working 4.5 days a week now instead of 7, and their administration has dropped by 25%, which is huge.
Yeah.
But him and his whole team had to be prepared to put in some extra time and some extra hard yards at the start to be able to get to that point. Yeah. So it's not something that can just happen magically, that I wave a magic wand and come in and all of a sudden everybody's working less. Like, it does take heavy lifting, and it does take a lot of work.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when you talk about systemization, what do you mean by that? Like, for anyone who doesn't have any systems in their business that may watch this, what are we talking about when we talk about systems and processes?
Cool. So everybody actually has systems in their business, whether they realize it or not. It's just to what point. So when I talk about systemizing a business, it's coming in, it's looking at what you are doing now. So identifying that, actually getting it out onto pen and paper or onto a flowchart software or anything, to go, okay, well, first of all, what are the steps you take to complete each task in your business? So we go through that first, because we can't fix anything if we don't know what you're doing now, because what you think you're doing is actually completely different to what is really happening. Our brains just magic this awesome little pretty picture, and then you start to write it down and it's completely different. So we do that first, and then we go through and we actually go, okay, well, what can we change? What technology can we implement? How can we delegate this or outsource it? Can we rewrite this whole process? And then we rewrite that whole system from scratch and get people to start working through it, start testing it, and hopefully by then we've found, some room for improvement, and we've made it more efficient, we've made it more effective. Or the other word I really enjoy, and I was giving a talk about this last week, is making it more exciting. There's nothing worse than doing what you do and having it so boring and monotonous that everybody refuses to follow it because it's crap. It's got to bring about some, sense of emotion and attachment, and make it exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
as well.
Makes
So
it fun,
when
right?
I talk about systems, it's the whole thing of what you are doing, how you're doing it, and how you are getting from point A to point B, and everything in between.
Yeah, awesome. And
Yeah.
do you ever find, like, for specifically kind of sole business creators, we start with obviously a one-man band and,
Yeah.
implement as much as what we can and wear all the hats possible. Is there a
Yeah.
system that you would recommend for anyone to look at before all of the others? Like, I see you've been plugging email marketing lately, or CRMs, or I don't know. Oh no, we've lost her. Right, one moment while we wait for her to join us back. Let me have a quick look here. Right, I am back, and then because I'm currently re-adding. Yay!
Yeah.
It worked.
I don't know what happened. It just like booted me out of your whole page and put me back to my home page, and then I couldn't get back into it.
Oh, I was just
Anyway.
saying before, like, obviously I work with women in business, which is really about putting themselves out there on social media and growing social media. And I was
Yeah.
saying, I don't know whether you were on at the time, I'm like, I promote live and everyone's terrified because what if something goes wrong? And I'm like, this is the beauty of it. It goes wrong and you just keep on going anyway.
Perfect.
I love it. I love it. Now, what was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about systems. So is there, like, what should we be implementing first?
Okay, so it's really the things that have the most impact on your business. So things like your finances, so your accounts, how you're getting money into your business is a really big one. Also, how you are getting clients as well. So your sales and your marketing process. Those are probably the two really big ones because they're the ones that are going to have the most effect on your business moving forward.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yep. Everything else, your delivery and your operations, yes, it needs to be amazing because that's what your clients are going to remember you for. But as a business owner, it's important, one, how you get clients and how you get leads and how you convert them from leads to a client, and then how you get the money off those people as well, because we all need money to survive.
Absolutely. Otherwise, we're in hobbies and we're going to be very hungry.
Exactly.
Cool. Okay, so we've got, our sales and marketing. It's the crux of any business. We need money.
Yeah.
We get that through sales and marketing. And the best thing then to be doing is systemizing some of that through the amazing, platforms that we've all got and, different software available for us to help us along that way. And then obviously we can then take the opportunity to start outsourcing. Is that what you would probably be recommending through that tree?
Yeah, so part of what you need to be looking at when you do all of this is you first need to identify every single task that you're doing in the business. So do like a full audit on everything that you're doing. So spend a week or two just writing down every single time you change tasks, just jot it down. And then at the end, it's really funny. There are 4 things you should be checking. One, obviously you want to still do the things that excite you. So you need to start grading them on whether you want to do it, whether you want to stop doing it, whether you want to outsource it, whether there's somebody else within your business that you can delegate it to, because that's the 2 biggest differences, I guess, between outsourcing and delegating is whether you've got someone within your business that can handle it or whether you do need to go outside of your business to help do it. But then the other big one, and it's one that a lot of people don't even realize that they're doing it, is whether you can actually stop doing that task altogether. Because like we spoke about before, you get in these habits of, you start a business and you build in all this stuff and you do all of these processes and it becomes the normal and you never go back and actually look at it to see whether it's things you should still be doing. So once you start to do these task audits, you might look at stuff and go, hang on, I don't actually even need to do that anymore. And then instantly you just drop something off your list and you've probably streamlined a whole bunch of stuff as well because you're not doing a pointless task anymore.
Yeah. And I actually really love that, Pip. I love that because when we start businesses, I don't know if you were like me, but I needed to be busy all the time. So I just created a whole bunch of stuff to make me feel like I was doing stuff and I was working between the hours of 9 till God knows what, because I thought that's what I had to be doing, because heaven forbid I just have flexibility and time up my sleeves to enjoy life whilst a growing business. And then, kind of moving down the track, things got busier and busier. Time was blowing out of control. And it was like, I don't enjoy this. What needs to happen? Does it need to be delegated to someone else? Or why am I even doing this? If I don't like it and
Yeah.
it's not an integral part of sales or marketing, then why is it
Yeah.
in my business? And it's like a weed, and then throwing it out because it's not bringing any
Exactly.
purpose.
Yeah. And look, the big thing as well, and especially for sole traders, when it does come time to start looking at outsourcing, it's a really scary thing because all of a sudden, you know, you've gone from doing all these things that, yes, they're costing you time, but you're not having to outlay any money. As soon as you start outsourcing, there comes the financial outlay as well. And what a lot of people don't realize is, say you outsource something that takes you 2 hours and it costs you $100 to have something done in 2 hours. If you can go and make a sale within that 2 hours that's worth more than that $100, well, isn't it worth the time to go and outsource getting that task done for you? Because if you were too busy doing that task yourself, you couldn't have made that extra money to start with. So it's just a really, it's all about the mindset. And I know you're all about mindset and stuff as well. So it's all about just how you look at it and how you interpret it and make yourself feel as part of this whole process.
Yeah.
It's hard to part with money.
Of the growth journey, right? Like, it's scary. It's going
Yeah.
from a business where many people transition out of full-time jobs and start recuperating some of that money and then pour it back in because, you know, then we start wanting to invest more to grow it more. And then it kind of, there you do get to a point where it's just like, I just can't do this on a consistent basis and it needs to be done. So I'm going to have to look at someone doing it. And, you know, I know when I first started outsourcing different things, it was like, what I guess the experience was, it was like, oh, I felt like I finally was just getting money back into my life to go and spend on things that I used to have. And then it was, you know, and everyone dreams of that. And then all of a sudden it's like, nope, here we go again. And I have to invest in this and I have to back myself that I can replace it because I still want to go and get those things, or I still need to have that money coming in. Otherwise, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, exactly. And it's scary. It's really scary.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're like me, anyone, I've had lots of failures with outsourcing and learned some great lessons. So
yeah. So the tip with outsourcing, and you know, people ask me this all the time. They're like, we need to go and get a VA. We're just struggling and we're so bogged down. You need to prepare. It's not as simple as just going, I need someone to come and help. Someone put the hand up, here, take all my stuff. You need to have really good documented systems, surprise, surprise, to be able to pass on to these people. Because if they follow that, they're going to get from point A to point B successfully. Whereas if you're just giving them verbal instructions, there's a lot of room for error. There's a lot of room for inconsistency in the service that they are then providing as well. Whereas if they've got, like I said, a checklist that just walks them through step by step everything they need to do, really then when you start to hire, and this is the same whether you're outsourcing or bringing employees on board, it's not so much about their skill set, because you know that if they follow the system, they're going to get the outcome. It's more about their personality and their values and how they are as a person. And then it becomes about managing people, not managing your business.
Yeah, I think they're boundaries, right? Like, they're a healthy boundary in business. And when you know the system to follow, you've created that boundary. And it then comes down to effective communication. And as you said, by being able to work with the right person to get the outcome that you're wanting to achieve. Because whether you're outsourcing or employing, they're still part of your team. And you still need to manage that. You know, it's not like you can just go and outsource everything and think everything's going to be happy days if you've got 10 lots of different people working for you. You still need to be overarching, looking at that and driving that behavior and understanding the system that you've put in place. Otherwise, I guess the way I look at it is you've disempowered yourself. You've cut your arm off in your business because you've just handed something over because you don't have the time or you don't want to deal with it. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, I actually don't know how to do that part. So if they leave, there goes that part of the business too.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's a very, very dangerous spot. I know a lot of employees and a lot of people are very threatened by having their role and their task documented. But it's not about just being able to kick you out the door whenever the business owner has had enough of you. It's about, what about the days where if you can't come in sick? You know, employees need to be able to have time off. They need to be able to go on holidays. Like, I know so many times, as like back in the day when I was an employee, I'd have a holiday and I'd be constantly answering my phone and text messages and emails because nobody else could do my job. which is horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, documenting processes is, as much as it's unsexy and it's boring and it's a threat to people, it should not be seen like that either. It's an empowering thing for people to have. It is a strength for a business to have as well. And, you know, at the end of the day, once, you know, whatever your end point is to your business, these things actually make your business more valuable as well, because anybody can then walk in and take it over.
Yeah.
Without it, you're just literally the assets that you've got.
Yeah, totally agree. And I love that. And I love that for people like me who are not an admin, you know, I like talking to people. I like coaching. I like talking on the bigger picture. I don't really love the admin nitty gritty side of everything. And if you ask me to write a document, I'll procrastinate till the end of time. So I love that you can flip that around and go, well, it actually makes it's more worth. There is more value. And it's like, oh, that is a really good positive spin on perspective of why we should be doing it along the journey, as opposed to winging it and doing it when we think when we need to, when we're in dire straits.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Just reading.
So Leela has said, I find this all so interesting. That's good, Leela. I'm glad that you do.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. I also find this interesting. I like systems and structure. When I've worked for others, there's been structure, and I always found easier or better ways to do them. I don't feel like my structures are strong at all. Well, I don't know how to answer that. Do you have a specific example of why you don't think they're strong at all? Or because obviously I know you and I've worked with you, and compared to where you were, they're a lot stronger. But I definitely don't dissect structure in business like Pip does. So if you've got a concern in your business or something that you want to specifically ask about one of your systems or one of your structures, then I would probably suggest that you drop a comment or ask Pip directly.
And look, I'll just say something as well. The thing when you're systemizing your business is, once you've created a system, it's not the final end all and be all of that system. Systems are there to constantly be improved. So we always say to people, once you've gone through and you've done all this and you've got documented procedures and you've got systems for everything, they need to be reviewed all the time. And not necessarily by you either. If you're the one that's using them day to day, or if you're the manager or the owner of a business and it's your employees that are using them, get their feedback. Because it is a case where I might be doing something, but someone else can come in and see something that I can't see. It's the same with me going into other people's businesses. Because I'm not using them and I'm not caught up in the emotion of what's going on, I can come in and go, hang on, like really clearly identify where there are holes and where there is room for improvement. But you need to continually be improving on these. It's never just a one-stop shop. It's ongoing. Yeah. So it's part of like the whole continuous improvement. And I love the Japanese term, that kaizen, where it means, you know, change for good. You continually have to build this into your yearly calendar. You know, it might be that you're doing one every day or one every week or whatever it is. And then there's a whole process and system around reviewing systems, believe it or not. So Layla, you will, even if you don't feel like they're strong, they potentially might be, or it might be if, you know, you can find better ways, keep reviewing them. Just because you've got them doesn't mean you can't change them. They're not set in stone.
Yeah, awesome. And I don't know if this is relevant for Leela at all, but Leela rents a room, and so she's a Bowen therapist. So yeah, how much does it impact? Like, so she rents that space, and you know, so obviously she's got opportunities to have that structure or her systems, I guess, altered because of external forces. So how will you go about, I guess, changing that type of system that's outside of your control? Can you do anything?
So what, you're talking about just renting the room as being
outside? So for any of our therapists kind of out there that may, or sublet, even service-based, you know, coaches or whoever it may be, they might sublease. Let's actually reframe that. So if I was going to go and rent a room out, are there certain systems I should be looking for that might already be in place so that it's not going to damage my business? Like from...
in terms of just using a room and renting a room, not really, as long as it's going to work, obviously, with what you're doing. I would be looking for things like stability and other external influences that might impact on, because it's all going to be about whether that space is available for you at that particular time, right?
Yeah.
what you do once you're there, that's up to you, and that's totally up to you how you structure that system. But if in terms of just hiring that space, that, you know, there's really not a hell of a lot that can go wrong other than them cancelling on you. So it's just having like a bit of a backup plan and a what if this goes wrong, then we can do this. Does that make sense? That kind of answering the question? Yeah.
Yeah. I was just that just kind of sprang to mind. So Leila, some days I wake up and I'm not sure what to do with the day. I think a better structure, probably even a written procedure to refer to, so they don't get scattered and it's more streamlined.
Cool. So I would be asking if you have a to-do list of people obviously will have a to-do list of what they need to do and what they want to do and what they want to accomplish. When we talk about systems, the one that I always refer to people is to have an action list each day. So to not work from your to-do list, you basically pick 3 things that you want to get done that day. If you have other things, so say on Monday is your accounts receivable, Tuesday's accounts payable, Wednesday you're doing social media batching. If you have that kind of structure as well, that can make it a lot easier for you to then wake up in the morning and go, okay, today's accounts receivable, all I'm going to do is this, and then you can focus on those actions to help get you working through a to-do list as well. So for example, I know every Sunday night I'm batching content for my social media posts for the whole week. Monday, and then I'm also creating the 3 things that I'm going to get done the following day on the Monday. So it might only be one thing. You know, if I've got a fully jam-packed day, I don't want to be working after hours, so I might just have one extra thing I'm going to do. And the other thing around that as well is if you do have something that needs to be done that's going to take you longer than 2 hours, break it down even smaller. 2 hours is that's a massive task. That's enough to make you start procrastinating. It's enough to make you get distracted. If you can break it down into smaller chunks, it will actually help you move through it as well.
Yeah. Awesome. So I hope that has helped, Leila. If you need any clarification on it, of course, reach out. Happy to answer. But I love what you said there, because you've just pretty much said what I say in a different form, and they call me the structured or the discipline Nazi. So it's great to be able to hear it from a different perspective and worded differently. And and the action part of it, so that so that people can think differently.
Yeah, look, everyone always assumes that because I'm this systems Nazi and ninja and systems freak that I'm an incredibly routine and disciplined person. And Monday to Friday, I am. I have the most, I have Lucy, I've got to get out the door and get to school. I've got meetings I've got to get to. And then I've got school pickup and things to work around as well. So we do have a very, very strict morning and evening routine, which allows us to get what we need to get done. I have strict routines that I put on myself during the day as well. But I love spontaneity, and I love doing nothing more than just doing something extreme and crazy ad hoc and just, winging it completely. But I make sure that happens on the weekends. Yeah. Because I know Monday to Friday, I've got stuff to get done. I've got a plan that I need to do. The weekends is where I just let my hair down and I just go for gold.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, when we want to start our own businesses, we just think that it's this life of freedom. We no longer have to do any work. And it's like, oh no, it's still exactly the same. It's just slightly different.
Yeah, exactly. Look, everyone knows now, like when I go camping. So when I start to feel like routine and discipline is just taking over too much, I just throw everything in the car and I'll go camping for 2 days. I will still work while I'm out there, but it's just breaking that routine and it's just doing something a little bit different.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. Well, I will finish up here because I know that you're super busy. For anyone, Pip, who is interested in hearing more about, I guess, what you do and potentially how you could help them if they are looking at their systems and processes or taking their business to the next level, how do they get in touch with you?
Okay, well, first of all, if you are in Brisbane, I'm going to be at the Small Business Expo in Brisbane tomorrow. Feel free to come along and have a chat to me face to face. Otherwise, feel free to reach out through the ProjectBox Facebook page. You can send me an email on hello@projectbox.com.au, or even just give me call me. I do not charge to jump on the phone and have a chat to people about what is going on in their business. There's nothing worse than sort of suddenly going, I really need to ask a question, but I don't, I'm not a lawyer. I don't charge you by the minute. Just jump on the phone and give me a call.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, Pip, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're very
I
welcome.
really appreciate your time.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, and congratulations again for your service award, and have a great time tomorrow at the what is it, the
Brisbane Small Business Expo. I'm also going to be speaking there as well as part of their Tina X talk. So if you want to come along to that, I'll be on stage at 12:15, I think, Brisbane time.
Cool. Well, for anyone that watches this after, hopefully we'll get some Brisbane people who can come along and meet you in the flesh. And otherwise, you know, just keep doing what you do. It's absolutely amazing. I've loved learning more about what you do in your business and how you help people. And I'm just really excited to see where your business continues going over the next 12 months too.
It's a big 12 months ahead. I've got some big plans, so keep watching.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Pip. Have a great afternoon.
You too. Thanks, Lou.
Bye.
Bye.